longer just to allow the music to play out. But let's see here. So everyone in the audience seems to be some familiars, but if we do have any new people, would definitely like to say that, welcome to this is the ShapeShift Weekly Governance Call. Everyone is welcome to join to learn about anything and everything pretty much to do with governance within the ShapeShift DAO and our anything that needs to happen. Furthermore, from that, we'll talk about some forum posts that are in there in the forum and in the process of maybe just the starting stages of governance or maybe further along. And we'll allow people to come up on stage if they choose to and discuss and talk about any of the proposals they put forward or any ideas having to do with ShapeShift DAO and the governance. So without further ado, we see some seats filling up out there. Let's kick this bad boy off for 2023 ShapeShift governance. Let's go. So we do have some activity. So we started off strong in the new year. But first, we'll start off with what we always do, and we will start with some appreciations. And definitely hold on, I got check stage chat. I got a ping. So yeah, we'll start off with some appreciations. First I'll start with a couple. Oh wait, what happened? 3 minutes intro. It's me. It's never was. There's a long intro, man. Come on now. I'm killing time for people to get in the audience. But yeah, we'll get going. All right, appreciations. Appreciate everyone in the DAO that has stuck it out with us, that is willing to stick it out with us, continues to stay with us, continues to build with us, continues to create with us. I appreciate all the community members that dedicate their time and effort and energy into building here within the ShapeShift DAO and continuing pushing to go forward in a bear market, in any market. So, even when things turn around, we're here thick and thin. We're help, driving the community. We're help building. So all appreciations to that and to everyone that is willing to do that going forward. So thank you all. Let me see. I'm going to now take a look here at our appreciation channel. Give me 1 second. All right, Fox Props. What do we got? We got something, don't we? Let me check here. What do we got in Fox Props? Nothing much new. We had a deleted message, so I'm not sure who it was to, but the original message was deleted. So I see Gray Machine is typing in here. So props to H Pain for securing sponsorships for Ether. Yeah, this came up on a call yesterday during the lunch call AMA, and I have to say I agree with Gray Machine very much here. Lots of props to H Pain for his hustle, for his grind, and just the new ideas that him and others are coming up with, different approaches during this bear market. We're thinking out of the box. We're really pushing, and looking to dial in into things that might not have been done before here in the DAO or in other places. And I really want to share that appreciation with him securing some sponsorships for ETH Denver and really going above and beyond and looking at ideas and stuff to make it work. So yes, I will agree to that one. And let's see, what do we got? Ocean. Willie Fox. Yeah. Okay, we're going to start this off early. Well, we'll have more time to talk about this, but Willie Fox says, even though I'm anti-fees, I appreciate Ocean. He and I are a great balance, and he does so much for both the foundation and the DAO. Agreed. Ocean has been a large voice as within the DAO, within, I'm sure, the foundation as well, but just trying to further the mission that, was set forth with the foundation and decouple things and really push for decentralization and moving the bar in ways that he sees make sense. And I agree. Much appreciation for Ocean. Not sure if he's here today because I know he said that he might not be able to come and join, but hopefully that gets back to him, or if he catches the recording later on. I hope that he'll be able to hear that out. Okay, so if anyone else has continued appreciations, feel free to drop them in stage chat or raise your hand, or if you can jump up on stage. But normally they would have jumped up by now. Willie. But so I assume that we're pretty good at this point and we can move past the appreciations and just allow them to stay on the stage chat. So we will go to, we do have some past proposals that already passed. And let's see, we have quite a few. So let me go ahead and read off those things. I don't know if anyone would like to come up and talk about the the proposal that was passed, and if it was obviously successful as far as next steps or anything like that. And usually not, but if there are any like foreseeable next steps that you would like to share, feel free to jump up as I run through these. But if not, we'll just continue. So we do have SCP 120 claim and delegate safe airdrop. Willie, was very nice to put this out there and give the opportunity for us to pick up some safe in the airdrop. And he made sure that, he kind of did this on a timeline. So there he is. GM, sir. Happy New
GM
Year,
never was.
GM. How are
GM,
you?
dude. Best day ever. And yeah, unfortunately, I have bad news about this, and we were not able to claim the safe before the deadline. So we had a
Ooh,
goal. We kicked off the process pretty much because we realized we were approaching that deadline. And I know we got the proposal up, or we got the transaction queued up, I think within an hour of the proposal passing. But I think it's a testament to kind of some of the shortcomings of our current signing process, and the fact that the safe snap, if we had tried to go that route, we wouldn't have had enough time, because the additional time that safe snap adds onto it. And for the signers, with only a 2 out of 2 multi-sig, it was difficult to get everyone together to sign it over the holidays. So we just missed the
understood.
deadline on that, unfortunately. But it's a perfect segue to Ron's forum post that I think he'll hopefully talk about later today, to evolve our multi-sig and signing process and establish a committee to elect a 2 out of 3, so that we'll be able to more swiftly respond to these transactions, especially during things like holidays.
Definitely, definitely, and great point. Lesson. Hopefully, we have lessons learned from this, and we can make it through it. I know that you did start this process early, and put in a lot of effort to get it there. Unfortunately, like you said, with the holidays and such, it's not always easy to coordinate people that might be traveling or out and stuff like that. So I understand, Willie, but thank you for at least putting forth effort. This was also the first, I believe, shielded, or was it not the first shielded? No, it wasn't the first one passed. I know you started something new with attempting this when you first put it through the governance process. It might have been ideation, but anyways, thank you, sir, and we will just keep moving forward and learn from that, and hopefully build better process.
Thanks, never was. Thanks, everyone.
No worries. All right. We do have SCP 114, and this is the January through June moderation workstream renewal. We did get this passed, so it looks like we'll be having a continuation of the current moderation team, which is always great news to hear because they do a great job. They work in the background, they get a lot of shit done for us. So, that is one new other thing that got passed here. Let me see if I see anyone in the audience that want to come up to speak on this. Probably not. But anyways, we do have that. GK's in the audience, but I'm sure he doesn't want to come up. But they'll continue in their efforts, and as laid out within the proposal, as far as responsibilities and the return on anything they're looking to have done for the DAO here. So, and then we had one other one that also we haven't spoken about that was recently passed, and this was an interesting one, first of its kind within the DAO, as far as basically a choice between SCP 115 or SCP 117. And this was basically how the DAO would like to move forward with its support for outside users, and how the community would approach that going forward. SCP 117 actually was the one that went out there. And I will allow, there he is, Mr. Tyler, to come up and talk about how he sees this kind of moving forward, or, any other things that he'd like to speak about on that. GM, sir.
Yeah, GM, sir. Yeah, I don't have a whole bunch of updates to provide. I can say that um, the renewal for Zendesk was the payment for it was already applied at the first of the year, so we have until the end of January to transition over to Gitbook. We've already started the process of letting anyone know who's inside Zendesk for ticketing that they should be opening up tickets here in Discord, and we're working with the C mods on just finalizing everything in terms of permissions and things like that. But so far, the flow of support inside Discord has been pretty smooth. And even with a prod issue that happened inside CoinCap, the volume of tickets has not been something that's really affected the day-to-day abilities of the operations team. So that has been good. The severance pay has been sent out. That was part of that. That's been covered by the operations. Test funds right now, I still have to put in the request in the treasury for that to cover that. But those payments have gone out, and we actually have Mogi from the team who's been working with ops right now to help with the transitions still. So it's been nice to actually still continue working with him. There's some work to be done in terms of replacing all of the mentions of Zendesk across all of the Shapeshift platforms and all of the links to open support tickets there. We're going to be doing our best to replace those with Discord. And I know that product and marketing are also working as well on identifying those areas. Yeah, that's basically the word on the street with support changes.
Awesome. Thank you, Tyler. Appreciate it. Yep.
Mhm.
Look for more to come on that. Definitely building out processes and developing a workflow. So we will continue that going forward. And we appreciate everyone's patience and understanding that we are, diving into this head first, and we will make it work the best we can.
Thanks, Neverwise, Jim.
GM. All right, thank you. Those were the recently passed items that were kind of some things that we did have a missed governance call over break, so not missed, that we took one off. So I just want to make sure that they were identified and had a little bit of moment of shine to talk about. Went back and read a little bit of the stage chat while that was down, and yeah, if I'm a little bit short of my intro there, guys, or whatever, yeah, I guess I'm just I don't know. New year. Let's see what I could do. I don't know if I can keep it short. You know me. But, anyways, I'll try when I can think about it. All right. So, we do have some active proposals. And I apologize in the slides. I just have one because another one just went in ideation as far as an active thing on Snapshot. But my section in ideation was blank at the time I did these slides earlier today. But I will definitely talk about that and allow for the Smith to come up on stage and talk about it. His ideation posted little bit later on because I was going to talk about. He did have it already in the forum. So, anyways, we'll do that. But first, we do have a live proposal within Snapshot that we need our Shapeshift community to take a look at and use their Fox to vote. And this is SCP 121 roadmap proposal, January to March of this year. And this is basically, Diggy, if you want to jump up here, or if you need me to invite, yeah, I'd rather have you say it a little bit better than me, more eloquently. But this is definitely something that we've talked about within the community back and forth, and a lot of discussion. And Diggy was very nice to be put this together and format this and put it out here as a proposal. So, GM Diggy, how are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah, so I mean, you guys know we talked about this pretty extensively over the past couple months, and then again at the DAO Wow. So the phase 1 of the strategy for 2023 is up for voting. So please cast your vote. We've already started executing on some of this, and some of it's even about to wrap up, like osmosis, for example. But yeah, please go and vote. And if you have any comments, please let me know. But there wasn't much comments in the incubation phase, so we just moved it forward. I think everybody had a lot of opportunity to weigh in on this next phase in all of the previous discussions. So hopefully everybody feels really aligned and excited, and this will pass. Thanks.
Definitely. Thank you, Diggy. Diggy's really jumped into this, with both her feet and taking it on her shoulders to kind of ensure that we have a unified direction and get all the ideas out there. So I really appreciate her efforts in that regard and getting this first, first of a few roadmaps put together as phases, and really allowing everyone to wrap their minds around it and see it, and push forward with it. So yes, as she said and I said, get out there and vote. Put your Fox to use. There's no use to just keeping it in your wallets. Let's put it to use in governance and make it do something for us. So very much appreciate that, Diggy. And everyone check it out, read it if you haven't heard about it, but I'm sure you have. Like you said, it's been a topic that we've talked about for quite a few months now. We've really been trying to formulate this and get solid backing of ideas and support. So check it out. Okay, so once again, I'll say this little brief thing about Metaphoro. This is a place where our forum, where we have a lot of our governance posts, as well as things to do with the DAO community itself. So if you have not seen that, please check it out. Sign up, join, keep an eye on there. It gets quiet sometimes, but a lot of times there's a lot of things going on in there. Comments, answers to questions about proposals, about ideas, about incubation. So definitely go there and check it out if you haven't already. This next slide, if you're following along in the slides, is actually the one that I didn't get this, but I will go ahead and invite the Smith up here to talk about SCP 122. And this is proposal to renew the globalization workstream. GM, sir, and Happy New Year to you as well.
GM, and Happy New Year to you and everybody in the crowd. I'm very happy to be here again, talking about our second term, right? Now we are moving to our second independent formation. So we designed this proposal aiming optimizing the work stream and mainly reach a better accounting, right? And this proposal carries some changes. And during the last 6 months, we were able to experience activities not yet explored by the team. And this definitely brought us an accurate view of the global scenario, whether in real life or digital. So that's why we created new strategies, but also kept our duties with the streamlined flows like the translation flow. And I believe that we managed to achieve enough experience during the last term. And I'm really grateful to the DAO for that. So we hope to bring more energy, accountability, scalability to global movements in 2023. And I also had the opportunity to talk to the community on last lunch EMA, I guess. But I remain available for any question about the proposal. We just moved it from incubation to ideation, so it is live on Snapshot. So make sure to participate and cast your vote there, and make your feedbacks on forum. And I guess Vlad wants to talk a little bit about the proposal, so I'm passing the baton.
Okay, and then also the Smith, there's a question on stage chat. PTT asked about the new position that you were adding, and I believe Vlad kind of touched on it a little bit, but I'll allow you guys to continue. But I know that was brought up on the stage chat.
Yes, for sure. Vlad, if you want to answer this PTT
yeah,
question.
I'm kind of like replying already.
Yeah,
the thing is, we had like we had like this community management of Spanish and of every community kind of done by like a little bit by every globalization member in a way, most of it. In the case of Spanish, it was like a responsibility that was shared. And now we are like occupying and creating like a dedicated position for community management. And we are splitting the obligations of one of the members that was design / community management. So we're creating this position and defining the design position as a position that is like above the community. So the designer that you have, you're gonna like be attending all the communities, and you're gonna have a dedicated community manager for Spanish.
Yes, and
Anything
we
new
already have
about?
this
I think that's
dynamic.
the only changes plus the advisor role that doesn't exist anymore. In terms of roles.
Cool. Thank you. PTT, if that doesn't answer your question, if you'd like more, go ahead and put it in stage chat there. But we'll allow these two gentlemen to continue on. If you had anything else you guys wanted to talk about, or if you are all set, feel free to let me know if you wanted to continue to talk about the proposal, or if you feel that you've kind of gotten the gist of it on stage here.
Yeah, just an observation. Yeah, Vlad did very well. That both are different positions and dedicated positions. So the designer should be the designer, and the community manager should be the community manager. So I think we can spend better our resources in these roles.
Cool.
Yeah,
Sounds-
perfect. It's also cool to highlight for those that weren't in the other voice chats that were mentioned the proposal. I think it was a office hours thing. In this proposal, we saved $30,000 compared to the past proposal, and we keep the same number of contributors plus some ambassadors, and this ambassador program is it's one of the things we're changing marketing wise, and we're going to try to apply everything you learned from the past term in terms of content production, energy allocation. There's another huge difference in planning when it comes to events. We have like a map of what you want to attend, and there's a bunch of little examples of stuff that we learned, not just like in how we divide the work between our team, but like how we divide our attention and effort from the other term. And there's like a special focus, a different focus when it comes to translation and community. Translation in the aspect that we are gonna work under communities that we started translating. The new community manager person that is going to attend this new position is also she's a native Spanish speaker from Puerto Rico, but she's also based in France. So we're gonna have some this shift of focus on like building on top of the communities we start some history from, and we're gonna like try to shift the focus on marketing thing for some call to actions that are like more interest for the DAO based on what we learned in the moment that we're living on the DAO. So I'm very bullish with the experience we got so far working here with all that I learned, with all that we learn, and how we grow together as a team here, and the synergy we achieved working from distance and working together in real life. I'm very proud of everything we've done so far, of the people that we met here, and all the knowledge that you guys provided and we exchanged it in this past time. And I look forward to build 2023 with globalization team and the whole DAO. I think lots of perspective for the year that we're gonna have, but I think we are ready to have the best year ever in any kind of market condition because we are much more experienced now.
Cool. Understood.
Yeah.
Sounds good. The Smith, are you watching the
Yes,
stage chat? Okay, cool. If you can talk to those questions that were asked by Diggy and also I think
yes.
Darwin.
I will start by Hunt's question. Hunt was covered by only 2 months on the last proposal, so his departure wasn't in on his second month, so we kept his last compensation on Colony as stated. I also communicated the leadership on stage chat on our private chat. And anyway, we decided to use his last compensation, the globalization workstream maintenance. So we just use it internally, these funds. So as we know, he lasts only for 2 months here, and this budget was proposed for 3 months, right? So we kept just 1 month Colony. I think I answered Darwin's question. Josh.
Yeah, also want to point that the spends of the whole globalization streams, the internal spends and event costs, merge for events like Ethereum Denver, which was one of those.
Yes.
It's linked in a spreadsheet in the proposal in the in Metaphoto.
Yes, I pasted our stream budget control there. So you guys can see that we started to use his last compensation inside the work stream by November. So we do have the control. I'm pushing out this funds from Colony monthly. So it's only for the stream maintenance at the moment. And
Gotcha.
yes, this helped us push, global actions. Where did you allocate Hunt's remaining month? Yeah, I told you I allocated on Colony on globalization tab.
Also, the Smith, I saw Diggy had a question about
Yes.
the Brazil and Spain MAUs. Can you answer that a little bit?
Cool. So currently, the only method that we can fetch data and work around some product usage data is the Google Analytics property. I even posted the parameters that I use it to extract those data on the spreadsheets. I guess you can find the links on the incubation post, but I can clarify for sure.
Yeah, and it's known that like if all the data we got from the app and from all our products are limited. That sucks, but it's kind of cool, right? So we're proud of having trouble to get data because we don't get a bunch of data with that. But we work with the numbers that we have and we try to work with the fluctuations of it. So yeah, those can be very raw, but I think we're using the numbers that we got from the product.
Josh, could you clarify your question? The monthly event cost, what exactly is that spent on? You mean
From the next term, I guess.
Yeah, like what is that? Like paying for a sponsorship? Does that pay for someone's flight to attend an event? Like, what is it spent on?
Well, all kind of mixed actions and possibilities. We can analyze
mainly what you mentioned. What you mentioned plus merch and like.
Well, merch
to be
has
ready
its own
for...
merch has its own line item.
Yeah, we do have a planned budget for merch, and like we can send a contributor to another part of the world if we found necessary to attend an event, right? So we expect to use these funds, in the most creative way to attend the events, and even if we can create side parties as far we experienced it in the last year, it's worth more. A side part worth more than a full sponsorship sometimes, right? So we don't need to pay $10,000 in a full sponsorship plan. We can be there and send contributors with a bunch of merchandising, or
And
even
not just that, we can improvise too. If there's like event scenes that happens in Mexico, Venezuela, Brazil, and sometimes there's smaller events. Blockchain Rio, for example, we made like a ShapeShift after party with like $200, like improvising from a budget that was like way smaller than this budget, which is also small. So I think if you can like have a budget to be prepared to events which are huge in real life encounters from the community, that's how you use this for. So you gave some examples, and like I'm adding like be prepared for like events that happens around us.
Do you, and then okay, thanks for that. And how about what's the ambassadors, international ambassadors and regional ambassadors? What exactly is
yes,
that?
that's my idea actually. I've been reading about that. I didn't even publish it, the full program, but back in the day, we had the GCA program here in globalization, and I came from this program, right? And I was thinking about and create loyal foxes like me, Vlad, JP, Firebomb. All they come from the ambassador program. So the goal is like to bring back to life this globalization idea. Like currently, we do have some interested people from Africa in the regional ambassador role. And I mean, I know there are different roles described in the proposal, and we plan to allocate like people in the freelance regime, on these roles that can work under an experience period. We will we intend to master this, you know, all these KPIs that this investor can bring to us, and maybe he can continue the work stream for the last 3 months, and etc. So yeah, go
Okay.
on.
And everything in this office funds in the chart up above in the proposal, you're saying that would all be paid in Fox.
The off-
100% of that is in Fox.
Yes,
Is that
we
correct?
can take. Yes, we can take it 100% in Fox and managed by our.
And even like the merchandising, like to buy stickers and whatever
Well,
else, you can buy those with Fox.
Well, I think we can swap for USDC and buy this.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay.
Yeah, I don't see the stable coin as a mandatory thing for these funds. I guess we can handle working with our own funds. And I need
Yeah,
to.
I'm kind of it just it seems like a lot to spend actually. I hate to say it, but that's my critique here is I don't like any individual line item. I can't like tell you what should be lower, right? But I just think in total that's like a third of our operations budget, and we're in a little bit of cost savings mode, and I wonder if there's some line items from maybe the office funds that can be removed, maybe bringing in a new role, maybe this new community manager could be removed. I don't know, those are just some ideas, but I think it should be a lower budget.
Yeah, we're trying to go to that direction. Like the easy way to see office funds, it's like the work stream budget in general, and we always work with a very little work stream budget, and we manage to balance things into salaries and team shifts, so we could like raise like $1,000 in what we call our budget. And if you see that as the workstream budget, you're gonna see that's like one of the lowest budgets in terms of workstream. And I think that's like pretty limited and lowered already. But for sure, if there's something, and the division we have like events, merch, it's something that we try to draft, but to draft like an idea of spends there. But if you see the past term spends, you're gonna see they have some opportunities that we don't want to miss. That is like not perfectly categorized, pre-categorized as we categorize in the proposal there. So there is some flexibility, but in raw terms we have 3,500 for offset funds.
Yeah, I guess I remember like Ocean gave this challenge to Diggy, and I think it wound up with a better product workstream budget. If you had to cut your budget by 25%, what would you cut, and how would that impact the results that you could provide?
Well,
Fire this meat for sure. Just kidding.
well, I think we cut it more than 25%. I appreciated your feedback, Josh. I think that's fair enough.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
It's 100% valid. But I just wanted to say that this budget kept our operations running, from the last term from this term. If you're considering that we used $10,000 from last hunt's compensation inside the office funds on the last term, you will see that we are, requesting less than that we spent on the last term. So I found this, I can speak for myself, but the work stream found that a reasonable value to ask monthly. Of course, we can return the funds to our treasury at the end of every term that work stream that the globalization works. But that's the scenario.
Yep. Also, and not to cut the conversation, I know that DeFi had come up on stage and had a very good question that he proposed in there with some actual numbers and figures that he wanted to talk about. So I wanted to give him the time to actually ask his question and have some time to discuss that a little bit as well, please.
Right. Yeah, please.
DeFi, if you're still there, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. I know these are tough questions to ask, but I think they are important. Like, marketing is a very quantitative kind of function in 2023, and the best kind of modeling that we've got at the moment is that a monthly active user is worth around 25 cents per month. In the case of this proposal, even just looking at the stablecoin spend alone, I'm trying to kind of make the math as generous as possible, but even the stablecoin spend alone is 60,000, so 10,000 a month. And I've kind of like rounded up the goals of the growth and even front loaded them over time. So even if we had those new 5,000 active users in mainly kind of Spain and Brazil at 25 cents per month for 6 months, that would bring the DAO about 7,500 in revenue. And cost us 10,000 as the cost of goods sold to acquire that revenue. So, as this proposal is written, it's even if the goals are to be hit, and I'm rounding up the numbers and front loading them, this proposal would categorically lose its money. Okay, what do you guys say to that?
Well, I was looking.
I think it's a very, very nice appointment, and it was an exercise me and the Smith we did, analyzing the costs of the proposal, even reducing 30%, the return of value to the DAO. And I think it's a good exercise when you try to do rough numbers like that, because we can try to achieve the self-sustentability in rough numbers in certain moments, I guess. But trying this exercise, we couldn't get like a realistic projection that could be balancing this equation in the moment we're passing through. We know that we need much more users with the volume of the market you have right now to achieve that. So we see ourselves as not like, we don't see just the product, but the community. And the way you see and the way the proposal try to cover the value we're getting back is the number value in users, in usage of the app, which is the equation that you presented, plus the user that is on our community also doing marketing with us, the market value. And that's why we call one of the paragraphs is we use the word legacy, because that's what we see that we're doing here, generating like a ShapeShift legacy where it wasn't. When you're marketing ShapeShift for someone that you would say, they think, oh, okay, that big exchange that I used to use. And when you talk to someone from Brazil, that's like, oh, ShapeShift, the DAO, and we're creating this new legacy. And we try to count like not just like the revenue you can get from the users when you are in the app, but like what you can bring from legacies and for actions that will really be around for some time and like real be recycling its markets. And that's why we don't just like create communities in social medias or Telegram and stuff like that, but we try to build stuff that will last, like a very nice merch, like cards, presence in events, like people learn about crypto through us, like going on stages and creating material that they can consume, and this material is going to stay. So I don't have like an easy perfect answer. Like we pretend to like return this value numerically through usage like this, but we're trying to count and to build stuff that are going to be there forever, that also has value, until having a moment that we can have enough market for ShapeShift in those countries, enough like ongoing and flowing interest, so we can like say, hey, this strategy right now will drive like the number of users that is going to be exponentially financially good for the DAO. For now, we're trying our best on it, and like in that field, our priority would be exactly that thread that you answered some time ago, talking about priority, and I totally understand on the product perspective. But on our global stream perspective, this should be our priority right now. So we're happy to wait to that to align. But that's the kind of stuff they're trying to do for like boosting the operation in terms of numbers.
I just want to add something here. Yeah, I believe Vlad has a a nice point. I share the same vision, and I think we are thinking about the quality of the lead that we are bringing on, right? Not the medium lead. But yeah, well said, Vlad. I think we stayed too long here. Or if we can stay more and answer questions, I see on stage chat some people talking about.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys would feel comfortable moving to stage chat and kind of answer some of the questions in there, I do have some more stuff that we got to talk about as far as forum posts and some other things. So I want to give those people time as well on stage if possible. But always feel welcome, everyone, to move these questions into the forum and allow for a little bit more time for people to respond and formulate some answers and stuff within the forum. But love the discussion. Love the communication and the driving topic of questions and stuff and the community involvement. So thank you, everyone. Please continue on stage chat if you like, but I do want to go ahead and talk about a few other things that are out there. I know Ocean's not here, but he did put a very interesting post on the forum that has gotten some attention and will continue to, I'm sure. It's an incubation post, but it's added fees for thorn chain swaps. If you haven't seen this, please go there and read about it. I know he's not here to speak about it today, but it'll be around for a little bit, being that it is just an incubation post, and there's a lot of discussion going on. So check it out and ask questions if you need to within that post there. We also have another incubation that change your Foxy voting power to 1.2x vote. Um, this this is something that I don't know if the community, if this is a conversation. I know it's been, spoken about in different channels and Discord and stuff like that. I do want to allow for some time if you want to come up and talk about it. But I know you were just on stage for a while, so if you want, Vlad, you can speak now, or if you want to just answer the questions within the post itself on the forum, it's up to you. But I know you're on stage. I don't know if you want to talk about that or not.
Oh, I think we took a lot of time here. So good to see people very interested. Thanks for everyone that came to stage and making questions there. It's very nice. Sometimes it's good to see people really interacting here with the workstream proposal. The other thing that I had in the meta photo thing, it's an exercise that I'm proposing, and it's still evolving. I make a spreadsheet to think this better with numbers as required by Josh and other valuable feedback that you had there. But I think we still have some growing conversation to have back in DAO strategy forum before it really goes on chain. I think me and Smith will be in the chat here still talking about the proposal stuff, but I think we should leave the stage now.
Okay, no problem. There's always the forum to talk about. I'm not kicking everyone off. I'm just trying to move it along and give everyone the time and space to equally share on there. So no problem. I understand. We definitely have a couple other items, so I'll go ahead and talk about that. One thing that was brought up earlier by Willie Fox, that is yet to be determined, but a Treasury Sign Selection Committee that was brought up by PTT Cruiser, and this is formalizing the signing process. Let's see if PTT is going to jump up on stage. If not, it'll be another one that we will.
Yeah, I can talk quick about it.
Okay, go ahead, GM, sir.
So this is coming out of following the DAO. Willie had made the point of we need to figure something out for this, and currently the signers are doing it out of the kindness of their hearts, and I know that the 500,000 Fox is a staggering number for the signers, but they're also one signature away from also taking everything in the treasury. So incentivizing them not to do so, I think, is important. And also the Treasury Signing Committee would be made up of workstream leaders that have been in the position for a certain length of time. And I believe that could be discussed as well. Love to get more thoughts and feedback. I know M. Perkins' initial one kind of got a lot of joke responses because he had used a very outrageous number to try to provoke a response. So I cut that down by about a quarter, or to a quarter of that. So that was kind of the only real change I made just to get the conversation started. So I know Jonathan responded. I've been kind of busy today working on other things, so I haven't gotten to read the responses yet. But we'll take all responses into consideration before moving to ideation. I may take a little bit more time with that just in order to maximize the responses we can get.
Cool. Sounds good. Thank you, sir, for putting this forward. I know this was something that was, like you said, was previously brought up and basically brought to the DAO for discussion and to generate some discussion. And you've kind of picked up the mantle to continue it forward and bring it back around for the community to digest and comment a little bit further on. So thank you, sir. What else? So we also have a couple other things that are going on. So we have a draft proposal for the Fund the Tokenomics Workstream in Q1 and 2 of 2023, and to re-elect Kent as its leader. I want Kent to be able to have some time. So GM, sir, how are you?
Good, never was. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, sir.
Man, it's always inspiring and fun to see spirited discussions with governance. So, yeah, it's been a good conversation today. I will keep mine relatively brief since I spoke to this yesterday in tokenomics, and this is only a draft, and we'll have a chance to talk about it more as well. The next phase of tokenomics, namely Q1 and Q2. TLDR on this one, continuing to be a full Fox work stream, requesting my workstream salary in 100% time locked Fox for this time period. As usual, I start with a bit of a retro here in terms of how Q3 and Q4 went. The prior goal, as stated in the last proposal from last June and July, was really do whatever the tokenomics workstream can to encourage the DAO to preserve and extend the runway. In terms of that was a success. Last June, we were at about maybe 10 and a half months of runway. Currently, we're at 11, and that's even after the putting that awful and high APY Rari loan to bed. So that is really good to see. The reasons for this, of course, are ongoing diversification into stablecoins through the Olympus and then the bond protocol programs. And of course, DAO-wide budget austerity has made quite a difference as well. So I talk about some other developments over the past 2 quarters here. Let's see. Also noting that with that Rari loan paid off, we now have 80 million Fox back in the treasury, which is wonderful because it eliminates smart contract risk. And of course, the DAO can put that Fox to use. Additionally, that was credited back to TMDC under its allocation. So we've extended the runway slightly and really mainly preserved it. Talk about some other sub goals there. One had to do with continuing to raise awareness of the DAO. The goal was to work with kind of the prior marketing work streams, PR resources, who did a good job of finding articles and speaking opportunities. That was not possible now, or in Q4 following the restructuring. However, I think there could be some more opportunities for that now that the lean and mean current marketing work stream is on its feet and running. Also in terms of dashboard stuff, building on that, we briefly discussed some using some paid tools in the interest of budgetary austerity. Budget austerity, we didn't pursue those, but we did work with Credora, which is a credit rating platform, to try to meld our dashboards into what they're doing. So then I go on to speak a little bit to the big picture here, just in terms of where we've been really since I started this role in December 21. Touching on a few different things here, and then proceed to outline the main goal for the first half of 23, which is runway preservation. And then talk about sort of some factors there. As an additional goal, and this is an important one, and this is a new stated facet. It's kind of been an ad hoc sort of thing that I've worked on, but I think it's worth stating here is like really continuing to lead the strategic discussions at the DAO. I was excited and happy to lead a fun strategy discussion. We had a SWOT analysis that came out of that. And one of the pieces that I carried out of that retreat is owning is a continued focus on that. Strategy right now, it couldn't be more important. The fact is we do not have a product market fit. We are not showing momentum right now, and we need to figure out what to do. So just, I think having somebody helping to facilitate these discussions would be helpful. So with that in mind, we'll be having a discussion on strategy later this month. This will be separate from tokenomics. If anybody else wants to collab on that, right on. Also, I talk about continued focus on research. The DAO in general doesn't have too many contributors focused on tech trends and things that could impact our strategic direction. So, of course, this is a carryover from my prior role as head of R&D at ShapeShift. So happy to continue to work on that. as especially with a focus on roll-ups, which I think will garner the majority of new liquidity and transactions in the coming bull market. Again, in terms of compensation, no changes here. Continuing to receive 14K worth of Fox each month. That, of course, is time locked for a full year. I just want to say that my conviction about doing this has only increased over the past half year since I initially made this decision. Basically because of the team we have now. It's a much stronger team, I think. Of course, there's fewer contributors, but everybody who's here is here for a reason. They're good at what they do. The team cohesion is amazing. My positivity and optimism was only magnified by being at the DAO and hanging out with all you amazing people, or many of you amazing people in person. And, you know, of course, even though we're not there yet, I think we're on a path to surviving this bear market and really kicking ass in the next market cycle. In terms of operating budget, this is a request for less than half of the prior term's spend. The operating budget is things like audits and sort of other bounties related to code. This is crucial, a crucial part of risk management as we assess whether or not we should use certain things. Additionally, this could include some conference travel expenses. I might have the ability to speak at on behalf of the DAO at a conference in Q1 and Q2. And then I wrap up here with really just outlining a few tokenomics related questions that are really important to deliberate on. One is, what's the near term to intermediate term strategy for diversifying into stables? Currently, we're paused on those efforts because we've paid off the Rari loan. So we have this runway, but if nothing else happens, we'll be eating into it. This is a very important community discussion to have. There's been some debate over the desirability of selling like discounted bonds, especially the short-term ones. So Tuesday at 11 o'clock, which is a new time for tokenomics. We're going to experiment with this new time. 11 o'clock Mountain instead of 4 o'clock Mountain. This Tuesday, we're going to be delving into that, and we'll have a variety of perspectives. Please offer your own if you're interested in contributing to that discussion. And then finally, I really call out I think a very important aspect of tokenomics here, and that's like, why would anybody want to own Fox? This is kind of like the value accrual piece. You know, Fox has given the DAO the ability to fund itself and make its way through this bear market. But ultimately, there needs to be a clearly articulated mechanism or mechanisms by which value will accrue to the token. You could say, well, it's governance token and that's enough. But I think, the more we can add to that or spell out and show clear mechanisms, sort of like what we've done with Foxy, the better. Anyway, I just want to call out those things as interesting discussions. And yeah, that's about it. So if you guys would have me back, I look forward to continuing this role in the first half of 23. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Kent. Thank you very much for talking about that. I'm sure you'll have more time to speak, and hopefully people get engaged on the forum and on the post and, ask questions if they have to. But yeah, we keep the conversation continuing, and we, drive the community involvement in here. We do have one other that I want to give the opportunity. This kind of snuck in a little bit. After I had done most of the stuff, but I want to give H-Pain some time if he wants to jump up here about SCP-123, and this is the 2023 marketing workstream renewal. I know there's a lot of talk on the stage chat still regarding some other discussions that we've had earlier in the call, but H-Pain, if you do want to jump up here and talk about this a little bit more, if not, we, since it snuck in right before the call, we could definitely get you in next week, or I know there'll be time next week. Forgive me for the last few minutes here of time, but if you do want to jump up later, that's fine. Let me check the stage chat real quick to see if you responded. Oh, there he is. GMH Payne, Happy New Year, and I will let you at least kick it off a little bit as far as getting everyone's appetites wet for this conversation.
Yeah, cool. I totally know, budget is super important to everyone. I also know that time is important. I know we've already crested 3. So I guess I wanted to give some perspective. I know it's a very long proposal. I'm sorry, forgive me. I tried to be detailed, and believe it or not, it was actually like 3 pages longer before I cut it down a bit. Just sort of bear with me as I sort of make this a little bit better. But TLDR, if you look at our job descriptions and sort of what we're doing in marketing, if you take the Fest budget increase, which is just Fox, it's pure Fox, we're paying Fox for this event, out of the equation, it's essentially same cost as last cycle, but we are doing more as a work stream. So responsibilities went up, organization went up, output went up, costs maintained, and the only increase really was the $1,000 extra in USDC from a contributor who's been taking 100% Fox for the last year. He was like, "Hey man, like I can't take 100% Fox anymore. Like I need some USDC. I could take half in USDC." I was like, "Okay, you know what? Like I get that. Like that's reasonable." Which is why that USDC spend increase went up. And then the Fox increase was due to a Fest thing, which I should honestly have a community call for to sort of talk about the cool thing going on there. Where we're able to get a exclusive presenting partner spot where we are onboarding over 1,000 women of color and female identifying people onto the ShapeShift wallet and app, and then sort of turning them into ambassadors for the ShapeShift community and onboarding them onto our governance platform and airdropping them Fox. So all the Fox that is the 34 or the 25,000 lump sum of Fox is all being airdropped from the marketing workstream to 1,500 women as we onboard them onto our app. So that's not really actually being spent or liquidated, and we're actually going to walk them through using that Fox then to stake it in our app in a liquidity pool or stake it via Foxy, and then showing them how to use that in our governance process. So something to keep in mind there with that Fox increase, and then USDC in spend I try to keep mindfully around the same. So yeah, I mean there's a lot to lean into there. Marketing has office hours next week as well as Null Fox, so feel free to jump down in there. For sure going to be going over this, but that's sort of a top level overview. Quantity output up, cost relatively maintained, with mindful tweaks in spending and quantifying that spending. And
Cool.
That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I know a little bit of time crunch there, but thank you, HPay, for trying to put that out there as eloquently, as quickly as possible. But there'll be more time to talk about this, definitely. So everyone continue that conversation as well. I know that the stage chat is still continuing, and a lot of people are still in the audience. So I will stay here for a few more minutes. And allow that to continue before ending the call. One thing I did want to say that I didn't have the opportunity last governance call we had at the DAO. We definitely had some good times and great conversations and stuff. And I want to say that if we could have recorded the karaoke session and probably put it on like some type of social media, we probably could have made some good generated DAO income from that. There was some great performances there, great entertainment. Pasigos, got to give you a shout out, man. I mean, you're great. You're like you're a born entertainer, dude. And I have to say that that was a killer event. Wish everyone else could have participated, but it was very interesting and special and enjoyable. We even had an appearance on the stage by a couple down under Aussies singing some songs for us. So it was great times. Just wanted to mention that before we got too far into the new year. Thank you everyone for that. I know everyone was kind of on break and stuff, so we didn't have the opportunity to kind of give those appreciations to those individuals last week or last time I was on stage here. So wanted to give that. I know that some people are still in stage chat talking, and Tyler, you jumped up here, so I want to give you the opportunity to say anything you wanted to up here on stage as well. So mic is yours, sir.
Yeah, GM Nervous, just make it real quick. It looks like there is a whole bunch of conversations still going on with this global, and so I recommended it. I think someone else did in the stage chat as well. Perhaps the Smith and his team can work with GK on getting a call set up maybe next week or so in the calendar, so we can have a continued discussion here. I don't know if that team would like to do some more work based on the feedback that they got today, and we can have a greater in-depth conversation, because it looks like there were lots of good points made, and perhaps they can take all of that back and there's not another call needed, but usually when something like that big happens on a governance call, I like to make sure we can have some time for it. So would love to just shout that out while we're still on the call together, and wonder if maybe the Smith and GK can work together post call and let us know when there could be a follow-up.
Definitely. Definitely. Thank you, Tyler, for jumping up. I was going to mention, I saw also that suggestion to kind of continue the conversation, not only today and in different places, but also to have a call dedicated a little bit more so around this topic would be a good thing for the community to kind of be able to, discuss. So, yep. If we could get that, that would be great. Very much appreciated. Yeah, I mean, the conversation obviously will continue or can continue, but I want to be very mindful of everyone's time here within the DAO. I know a lot of people, kind of have a lot of things going at this point. We do, even though the proposal is up for the roadmap, a lot of people have been working very hard behind the scenes to pretty much accomplish all those things. So I know that, a lot of work is being done behind the scenes here as always. So want to make sure everyone has their time here. So thank you everyone for joining today. Definitely hope that we can continue the conversations that we've started here today and continue the discourse that we have amongst the community here. And we will obviously, if we all put our minds together, we will be able to accomplish things a little bit better than just having one direction. So I definitely feel that everyone's thoughts and opinions has a voice, and if we can kind of come together and reach a solidified direction for those voices, we could really be a powerful tool here within the DAO. So thank you everyone, and appreciate everyone for joining. Appreciate the conversation, and you guys have a great rest of your day.